Hello friends, welcome to Circuit Adda. Today we are back with a new tutorial in which we are going to interface an 16 by 2 LCD with an Arduino board. So before moving into the video, if you want to know more about the Arduino and other technologies, do subscribe our channel by hitting the subscribe button. So now let us move into the content. So as usual, before moving into the module, we need to know about the module, right? So what is an LCD display and all these things, right? So I think you people have know about the LCD display. So this is one of the LCD module, okay? So you know that the LCD means the liquid crystal display, and you can find these type of displays in your calculators, right? In many of the calculators you may find these type of displays. Now so it is, I think you people are very familiar with it, so I think many of you know the construction, but if you want to know the working, so the working has been provided in our websites, and the link for the website will be given in the description, right? So there you can get complete working of the LCD display and all these things. So now let us directly move into the pin diagram here. So this particular 16 by 2 LCD, so the name here 16 by 2 represent that it is going to have 16 columns, right, and 2 rows. So you can see here, for I have shown here like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. Okay, so we are having 16 columns and we are having 2 rows. So that is why the display is called as a 16 by 2 LCD display, right? So I think you are clear with it. So now let us move into the pin diagram. So you are going to have 16 pins here, right? So the display will come with 16 pins. Okay, so the first pin here will be your ground pin. Okay, but sometimes this ground pin will be named as VSS. So there is no need to get confused. If the pin is named as VSS, that means it is a ground pin, right? And the second pin will be your VCC. Sometimes the VCC will be represented as VDD. Okay, so at VDD or VCC both are same, and that will be your supply pin, right? The VSS will be your ground pin to which the ground negative pin of the supply will be connected, and VCC is nothing but a VDD. It will be your supply's positive pin, right? And then this is our V0. Okay, so this is the external voltage which will be provided through an potentiometer, right? So the potentiometer nothing but a variable resistor. So why this V0 is useful here? It is useful to change the background light, right? We can call it as a backlight also. Okay, you can remove this background, we can call it as a backlight. So the V0 pin, by varying the voltage given to the V0 pin, we can adjust the backlight of this particular LCD display. Okay, and then the RS will be your reset pin. Okay, and RW, the fifth one, this is your read or write pin. R means read and W means write. Okay, so if you make this pin as 1, then the Arduino will read the data that is getting displayed on your LCD display. Okay, if this pin is made as 0, then your Arduino will write the data, that means it will display the data in your LCD display, right? And in our tutorial today we are going to display the data, that means we are using the display as an output device. Okay, so when we are using as an output device, then we are going to write the data and we are going to display the data upon the LCD display. So I am always making the RW to 0 so that I can write the data and display the data on my LCD display, right? And then here the sixth one. So this sixth pin, EN means it is an enable pin here, right? So if you want to read or if you want to write, that means if you want to communicate with the LCD module, then you need to make it as 1, right? If you are not making it as 1, if you are making it 0, then whatever the data you are going to give to the LCD is not going to respond because you have disabled it. Okay, so enable and disable will be used like that. Okay, and then the remaining from 17 to 14, these pins are your data pins. Okay, so whatever the data that you want to display on the module, so that data will be transmitted through these pins. You are going to have a wide range of 8 pins, right? So you can use these 8 pins for displaying the data of that for displaying the words or the letters or whatever the data you want to display on the module. You can display that by using these 8 pins, and the numbering will be from 7 to 14, right? And then the 15 pin here will be the anode pin, and the 16 pin will be the cathode pin, and in some displays this will be as a K or C, both are same, it is a cathode pin, right? So the anode will be connected to the ground through an 220 ohm resistor, and the cathode will be the anode will be connected to the positive supply, that means the same VCC pin through a 220 volts resistor, and the cathode will be connected to the ground, right? So this is all about your pin diagram. Okay, there are wide range of 16 pins, and we had gone through all the 16 pins. And now and remember that the anode should be connected to the 220 ohm resistor. Through a 220 ohm resistor, it will be connected to 5 volt supply. So you can use the same supply, the supply that you are going to VCC. So you can connect the anode to directly to that VCC pin, but through an 220 ohm resistor, right? And you can connect the cathode directly to the ground. Okay, so this is our pin diagram, right? So now let us move to the connection. Okay, so first we need to test our LCD, right? Once we test the LCD, then we are going to do something there, right? So let us test the LCD first. Okay, so let us test the LCD first, and then we will display some content on the LCD. Okay, so let us do that. So for testing, this is our circuit diagram. Okay, so this diagram is for testing purpose. Okay, so I had said that your LCD need a 5 volt supply. So I had connected my 5 volts pin. So I had used a breadboard here because we are having LCD. This is our POT potentiometer, and the range of the potentiometer will be 10 kilo ohm, right? And this is our resistor, which is 220 ohm. Okay, so that's why I had used a breadboard. So, and I know you know that the top one will be connected in a horizontal way, and this one will be connected in the vertical way. I think you can go through the breadboard connection in our previous video. In the first or second video, we had explained the breadboard connections also. So I am not going through the breadboard connections here, but I am explaining you the interfacing part here. Okay, so we need a 5 volt supply. So the 5 volts of the Arduino has been connected to 5 volts of your this particular pin. You can see the 5 volts has been connected to our VDD or VCC, whatever you are having on your module. It will vary from company to company. So it may be VDD or it may be an VCC, both are same, right? So the 5 volts has been connected to lower one, and here from the lower one it has been connected to VCC or VDD. Okay, and the ground has been connected to ground, and from here it has been connected to ground, or in some modules it will be VSS. Okay, and then we are connecting our 220 ohm anode. This is our anode A. Okay, the anode has been connected to 220 ohm, and from the 220 ohm it has been connected to the same 5 volt supply here. Okay, and then the cathode has been connected to ground here. Okay, and what the other thing that we have done is, this is our V0, the external supply pin, right? So this particular V0, and in some modules, in every module it will be V0, so there is no problem with that. So what we have done, we had first connect, because your pot will be going to have 3 pins like that. Okay, so positive has been connected to 1 pin, negative has been connected to 1 pin, and the remaining third pin has been connected to V0, so that it will act as a differentiator. So when we vary this knob, we are going to adjust this brightness of the display, right? So this is our connection here. Okay, so let me show you the testing part for this. Okay, for testing the brightness, we don't need to upload any code. We just have to vary the potentiometer and see whether the brightness of my LCD is getting varied or not. If the brightness is varied, then your LCD is perfect for using, and if the brightness is not varying, then try to check that terminals are properly connected, or the potentiometer and the resistors are properly connected, and then you can try it again. Okay, so just I am connecting my Arduino to the laptop to power my LCD here. Okay, so my LCD has been powered here, so you can see here. Okay, so this is my potentiometer. So here I have showing with the tester, this is my potentiometer here. Okay, so now what I am doing, I am varying the potentiometer, and I am trying to, you can see here, I am not getting any words here. You can see I am getting a blank screen here, but a complete yellow screen. Okay, now what I will do, I will rotate the knob of the potentiometer. As I rotate the knob of the potentiometer, you can see now some volts has been getting displayed. If I increase more, so it has become more brightness. Now it is, if we are not able to see the volts here, it has been very brightness. Now again I will reduce the knob, so the volts are displaying properly, and if I reduce it more, then no volts are getting displayed. So the brightness has been become very low now, and if I increase, so brightness getting increased, and at one point you are going to get the display. So you can see some votes are getting displayed here because I already had uploaded the code. That's why some votes are displaying here. If I increase it more, then the votes are getting that much dark that you are not able to read it properly. Okay, so that means my LCD display is working very properly here. Okay, because when I keep the knob in maximum position, my LCD is having more brightness. When I reduce the knob, it is perfect, and when I reduce it very less, then the brightness has become very low that I am not able to see the words here. So let me adjust it back. So this is my perfect position because I am able to see all the words here. Okay, so this is my perfect position. If I increase it more, then it will become very bright. Okay, so this is how we are going to test the LCD for today. Okay, as we had tested our LCD, and the LCD brightness is varying very properly with the variation in the knob. So my LCD is perfect now because I can vary that brightness very properly by varying the knob, right? So now let us try to display some words on my LCD so that our interfacing part will be fulfilled, right? So as I explained to you, we are having the 7 to 14 pins. The complete 8 pins will be used for the displaying the data on the LCD, right? So I think in the previous one I had shown you how I had shown you very minimal connections, in which I had given the VCC and ground to the LCD. I had connected the anode and cathode of the LCD. I had connected the VCC and ground, and I had connected the anode and cathode, and I had connected the V0 here. Okay, because in the previous one I am just varying the brightness here. Okay, now we have to connect some more pins, right? So as I explained to you, so these are the previous connections. The VCC and ground has been connected, V0 has been connected, and then anode and cathode has been connected, right? And the next more connections that we need for displaying the data on the LCD display is we have to connect the 7 to 14 pins. Okay, we are having 8 pins for displaying the data, but in our tutorial we are using the 4 pins. You can use the remaining 4 also, but in our tutorial I am using only the 4 pins here. Okay, so I am using this last 4 pins. Okay, this one and this one, this one and this one. Okay, so I think this will be D5, D4, D5, D6 and D7 pins, I think, right? So the D4 will be connected to second pin of my Arduino, D5 will be connected to third pin of my Arduino, D6 will be connected to fourth pin of my Arduino, and D7 will be connected to fifth pin of my Arduino. Okay, so you can use these 4 pin also, there is no problem. I had used the D5, D4, D5, D6, D7. You can use the D0, D1, D2 and D3. It's up to you, but I am using the last 4 data pins. You can use the first 4 data pins of your LCD. It will be not an issue for you, right? So, and then the data pin should be connected to the digital pins of the Arduino. So you are having all 13 digital pins. In the 13 digital pins, you can use any 4 digital pins for connecting them to the data pins of your LCD. You can use any, but you have to use only digital pins because we are going to make that particular pin high or low depending upon the character that we want to display here. So we have to use the digital pins. So connect any 4 digital pins of your Arduino to any 4 data pins of the LCD. Okay, so apart from connecting the data pins, we have to connect 2 more pins, that is the reset pin and the not the reset pin, the read write pin and the enable pin, because we have to tell the LCD that whether it has to work in a read mode or the write mode. As I had mentioned to you that we are using in our tutorial, we are writing the data on the LCD. That means we are displaying the data on the LCD. So we have to make the LCD know that you have to work in right mode. So I have said that for right, if I'm making this to work in the right mode, we have to make the RW pin 0 or low. Okay. So for that, what I am doing is, so this is my RW pin. Okay, this is my RW pin. So the making it low means connecting it directly to a 0 ground, right? So what I had done, I had connected my RW pin, read write pin, directly to the ground of my Arduino. That means it is getting the 0. So if the RW pin gets the 0, that means it has, the LCD will work in write mode. That means it will display the data here. Okay, and then we have to make the enable pin high, right? For we have to make the enable pin high. So for making the enable pin high, what I had done here is, you can see I had connected, you can see here, this is my enable pin, right? So I had connected my enable pin to 11th pin of my Arduino here. Okay, and I am going to make my 11th pin high, so that my LCD will be in enable state. Okay, and the other pin that we have to do is the reset pin. We have to mention that, connect the reset pin also. So I had connected my reset pin to the 12th pin. Okay, so very simple connection. The 4 data pins has been used, and enable pin has been connected to 11th pin of my Arduino. Reset pin has been connected to 12th pin of my Arduino. Okay, and then we are having read write pin. So read write pin has been directly grounded, so that it will operate in the right mode, and the remaining we had given the VCC and ground, and we had connected the V0 and all the other things here. Okay, so this is the connection part of the Arduino with the LCD display. So now let us move to the coding part, so that we can know what code we have to write for displaying the data on the LCD. So now you can see on the screen, this is our code here. Okay, so as usual, I had mentioned you that some of the modules require the library and some modules do not require the library. So the LCD module requires a library. Okay, so the first thing that we had done in the code is, we had included the library. So the library will be liquidcrystal.h. And the very nice thing with the Arduino is, the Arduino doesn't need to ask you to add the library of the LCD, because whenever you are downloading the Arduino IDE software in your laptop, so the Arduino developers had already inbuilt the LCD module in the software. So you no need to add the library of this LCD module. It will be there once you install the Arduino IDE software. Okay, and then we have to mention which pins are connected to which. Okay, so the sequence will be like this. So first you have to mention the reset pin, and then you have to mention the enable pin, and then the data pins D4, D5, D6 and D7. Okay, so as I have explained to you in the connection diagram, we had connected the reset pin of my LCD to the 12th pin of my Arduino. So I had mentioned here the 12, and then I had connected my enable pin of the LCD to 11th pin of my Arduino. So I had mentioned here as 11, and then I had connected my D4 of the LCD with the 5th pin of the Arduino, so 5, and then D5 to the 4th pin, so 4, and D6 to the 3rd pin of Arduino, so it will be 3, and D7 to the 2nd pin of my Arduino, so it will be 2. So we had just mentioned the pins, so that the Arduino knows that which pin is connected to which, and the sequence should be the same way. First you have to write this command LCD crystal LCD, and when you start the bracket, first you have to mention the reset pin connection, and then the enable pin, and then the D4, and then the D5, D6 and D7, right? And then now we have to move into the void setup part. So in the void setup, we will write the LCD begin, and we have to mention the size of our LCD. So in our tutorial, we are using a 16 by 2 LCD, 16 column and 2 rows. So there may be more LCDs like 32 by 4. So you have to mention the size here. So my one is 16 by 2. So I have mentioned here 16 by 2. Okay. And then whenever the Arduino powers on, so whatever the data that is there on the LCD, it should be get cleared. So we are using a command for clearing, that is lcd.clear here. Okay. So this is our setup part. So you can write the serial begin 9600. Remember one thing, if you are not mentioning the baud rate in your void setup, then the Arduino IDE will start working on the default baud rate. Okay, because as we have not mentioned the baud rate, So the Arduino IDE will upload the default baud rate, that is 9600 here. Okay. So now let us move to the void loop part. So it is very simple. We have to print, like normally if we want to print on the serial monitor, we are using serial.print ln, right? Here, as we are printing on an LCD display, so we have to write lcd.print, and in the bracket we have to write the word that we want to print, which is hello world. Okay. So this is the first line I am printing. So as I had not mentioned the position, so the hello world will be printed on my first row. That means I am having two rows, right? On the first row, the hello world will be printed. Okay. After that, I had mentioned the position, that lcd.cursor 0, 1. So 0 will be your 0, the numbering will start from 0. So 0 will be the column number. That means the first column, and 1 will be the second row, because the numbering will start from 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0 will be the first row, and as I said that the hello world will be printed on the first row. So the next line will be printed on 0, 1. That means starting from the first column but on the second row. That means below the hello world, my next command is going to get printed. So for printing the next command, again lcd.print, and the command that I am printing is lcd tutorial, right? So very simple command. The first one will be lcd print hello world. So as I had not mentioned the cursor position, it will start from 0, 0 position. That means first column, first row. But that means at the top corner it will start hello world, and then I have set up the cursor, because when we are going to write the second message, so we need to mention the position, because already the first row has been occupied by hello world. So we have to mention the second row. So the position of the second row will be 0, 1. That means the first column and the second row. And then it will be printed as LCD tutorial. So this is our code. Very simple code, right? So what we will do now, we will connect our Arduino board with the laptop, and then we will go to tools and check whether the port is properly connected. So my COM15 Arduino has been connected very properly. So now we are going to upload this. When we click on the upload button, first it will compile and then it will upload here. So I got the message that done uploading. Okay. So now let us see whether the messages are getting printed or not. So here you can see here the first message is hello world, and then below that LCD tutorial. Okay. As I have not mentioned the cursor position, that's why hello world will be occupying the first row. And as I mentioned the cursor position as 0, 1. So 0 means first column and 1 means second row. So here, from here, LCD tutorial is getting printed. So if you are not getting the display properly, like sometimes if you have made the brightness high, then your display will it will be like this, because my brightness is very high. So at that time, just reduce the knob, rotating this, reduce the brightness and adjust it, so that the hello world will be proper. Okay. So this is how we are going to interface the Arduino LCD module with an Arduino board, right? So if you like our video, please hit on the like button and subscribe our channel for more exciting content. And whatever the code of this, the complete code will be available in our website, and the link for the website will be provided in the description. Okay. So thanks for watching the video. Keep learning.